for an act to provide for the regulation and prohibition of arbitrary change of name in Nigeria, and in exceptional cases, provide for the procedure for change of name in Nigeria, offenses and penalties for violation and for other related matters, 2017, be read the second time. I so move. Our colleagues will remember that on the floor of this House, a motion was moved by one of our colleagues expressing concern over the new trend where some Nigerians were embarking on wholesale change of name. Not only changing one name, but changing it in wholesale in a way that the identity of the person now takes on an entirely new nomenclature. And this bill seeks to provide a legal framework for the regulation and prohibition of arbitrary, and I emphasize again, arbitrary change of name by persons whose motives, intentions, and activities are suspect and may constitute a threat to national security and safety of citizens and their property. This bill seeks to address an issue, and particularly the mischief that it intends to cure is to deny criminally minded persons the opportunity to acquire multiple identities. We know that the issues of identity are critical to a person in such a way that the integrity and identity of a person is tied to his name, and therefore has far-reaching implications both legally and to the nation's security. Another mischief that this bill seeks to cure is that persons with dubious motives seeking to hide their identity are to be checkmated. And not only that, it is also to deny criminal suspects the opportunity to evade justice by creating new identities through wholesome change of name. And this particularly came to the fore when the CBN introduced the BVN, the bank verification number. This bill also seeks to enhance the operational efficiency of the police and other law enforcement.
Silence, please. Honorable members, order, please.
Crime
order, please.
Through data collation, profiling, and vetting of suspects. And of course, it also seeks to protect law-abiding citizens from the activities and antics of fraudsters. The bill contains 20 sections and defines a person who obtains a change of name under this bill by fraud or misrepresentation or any other unlawful purpose commits an offense. And anyone that has already gotten a change of name and goes back to use the name which he has already changed commits an offense and therefore becomes liable. This bill is a protective regulatory legal framework and not an assault on the rights of citizens. It is not an assault on the rights of citizens, particularly when the security and safety matters are paramount. It does not offend civil or personal rights of citizens. Rather, it protects citizens and the state from men of dubious motives and criminal intent. And I want to add, colleagues, that given the increasing trend of terrorism globally, no nation can be careless in keeping track of the identity of its citizens. This becomes more apt when the porosity of our borders and ease with which non-Nigerians gain entry into our country is taken into consideration, thus making the regulation of arbitrary change of name necessary and a necessity. On this note, therefore, I urge my honorable colleagues to support this regulatory framework to avoid arbitrary change of name and to ensure that our security is strengthened as a nation, both at the level of individuals, that those that you do business with will not turn around and change their identity under frivolous circumstances, and therefore you become victim of such fraudsters. On these grounds, dear honorable colleagues, I urge you to support the passage of this bill that we may strengthen our security and deny fraudsters opportunities of discretionary change of name for evil intent and, of course, criminal intent and purposes. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, dear colleagues, and thank you for your anticipated support. I so conclude this bill and ask that you endorse and support its passage for a second reading. Thank you.
The bill is very much intended with what is happening in terms of the reform being carried out by the Immigration Department. Last week, the Committee on Foreign Affairs, which by the grace of God I'm a member, had a sitting, and from one of the resolutions passed by this honorable house to investigate the complaint of those who have been left outside the country without passport to return home. That's my submission, Mr. Speaker. I so submit.
Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I want to thank the mover of this bill. I think he has done the right thing by bringing in this bill. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, if you recall, sometime in 2016, I brought a motion before this House raising the issue of the danger that is facing us in Nigeria.
Honorable Dixon, Turkey.
Especially as
Honorable Dixon, please.
The issue of arbitrary
take your seat.
Change of names.
Honorable members should please take your seats. Take their seats, please.
And I recall, even that time I cited...
Silence. Honorable Dixon, Turkey,
if
please.
I, Nambram,
not distract
decided today to change my name, I can do so very easily. I can decide to even call my name Yakubu Dogara. And I said that I think it is very important that we look at this issue, especially that it is surrounded by the issue of security within the country, and also it could allow fraud to happen, and so many criminal tendencies can happen with the change of names. So I'm urging my colleagues to please support this bill. I think it is the right thing to do so that we can regulate the arbitrary change of names that Nigerians are doing, that we see every day on the pages of newspaper, and it is so alarming. So please, my colleagues, I urge you to support this bill.
So we have to do something right now to ensure that we checkmate the excesses of criminally minded people, so that they should not be using this opportunity to change their name to do something else with the new name. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. I believe we should support this bill so that it should see the light of the day. Thank you.
Second time. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Honorable Speaker, and prohibition of arbitrary change of name in Nigeria, and in exceptional cases provide for the procedure to change name in Nigeria, offences and penalties for violation and for other related matters. Second reading.
Bill is referred to Committee on Justice.